Retirement is something that I have been thinking about quite a bit recently. I guess I've always thought about retirement, but as I meet more and more people who are desiring to retire soon, meaning retire in their 50s, there's a big movement now called the FIRE movement that many young professionals are pursuing. It's financial independence, retire early. That's what the FIRE acronym stands for. And many of these young professionals, they're desirous of retiring in their 40s and 50s, and some of them I read even in their 30s. So there are many suggestions, that are being given to accomplish the FIRE. And I wanted to kind of say a little bit about it myself. Now, when I was a youngster, like in my 30s, really, that's when I went to nursing school and became a young professional. I knew I had a desire to retire, not wait till I was 65 or older to retire. And there was a lot of talk at that time about Social Security not being around when people like me are ready to retire. And that might be so. But I knew I did not want to have to work until I was 65 or 67, but I didn't really have a plan. I mean, traditionally, if you're a young professional, what you do to plan for your retirement days is contribute to your 401k, because most companies no longer have retirement plans. So if you don't contribute to a 401k, you don't have anything set aside for retirement. And what I find is that one cannot save enough money for retirement. It's hardly possible to save enough money for retirement. You got to save, but you also have to invest. You got to invest, and you're going to invest in investments that are going to continue working for you even when you have retired at whatever age, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You got to invest in investments that will continue to work for you at that time. Now, based on my experience, by the time one gets to about 50, you're just kind of sick and tired of working for people. And if you don't have plans in place, really, you're in serious trouble. Okay? I recently met a gentleman who I think he's probably about 80. Looks young, looks good. I see him with his wife in his backyard. And the gentleman looks healthy. He's small-bodied, very physically active, sharp in his mind. So I have a feeling that he's pretty healthy. If he does have any health issues, it's nothing major. But his wife is overweight, walks with a cane, and I barely see her come out of their house. And when she does, she just kind of scramble to the chair and sit there all day. So I know she has some health issues. She just looks sick. The gentleman shared with me that he worked for an industry for 40 years, contributed to their retirement plan. So he's collecting his Social Security plus pension from that pension plan. But he told me, he said, I'm very worried because the pension money doesn't last forever. And I'm worried about what I'm going to do when my pension money runs out, because all I'll have is Social Security. He tells me that Medicare takes a bit of money out for his from his Social Security check and his wife's, and also that he spends quite a bit on medical expense, so he has to come up with deductibles and co-pays. And he shared with me that things are really rough. Now, I thought he owned his own house, But recently I found out that he doesn't. He pays rent. He pays rent. Now, this is in the state of Georgia, in the country parts that I met this gentleman. And housing is pretty cheap. You can get a small house for $20,000, $25,000, even $30,000 in those parts. So if he owned his house, yes, he would have to pay taxes, but he didn't have to pay insurance. And certainly he doesn't have to come up with $500-$600 a month for rent. That would have helped a lot. So that's one way in which we can prepare for retirement. Own our house outright. If you cannot own your house outright where you live, then you might need to move somewhere cheaper, where you can buy a cheap house and not have to pay rent or mortgage. That will definitely make your retirement plan that much easier and more doable. You should not have a car payment. Okay, when you go into retirement, your car needs to be paid off. You need to keep your car in good repair so that it'll last you a long time. If you're not going to work, you're not going to be using your car much, so it's likely you could use that old car for another 10, 20 years or more. Okay? Credit card bills must be paid off before you go into retirement. That's just a must. And a big saver, okay, a big thing that will make retirement more doable, more tolerable, is if you are in good health condition. And the time to start taking care of your health is not just before you retire. It's now. The earlier the better. So when you're young, you should take care of your health so that as you grow older healthy, and you won't have to be spending a lot of money on health care. If your eyes are in good condition, you don't have to spend money on eyeglasses. There are many seniors that are in excellent shape that do not wear eyeglasses, or they might wear reading glasses that you can get at the dollar store for $1. Okay? Walk so you don't get neuropathy. Walk and eat healthy so you don't end up with diabetes and heart disease and things like that. Okay? And of course, you want to save as much as you can and invest. Okay? You can invest in real estate, be a landlord. If you have one or two little properties that you rent, that can definitely supplement your retirement money coming in. Stocks, bonds, money market funds, mutual funds, that's another option. Or anything else that you can do your research. Find other ways in which you can supplement your income. The thing is that some people say, I'm going to continue working even when I'm retired, but many companies don't want old people. And if you're not healthy, all the more reason they don't want you. Many companies, they can't tell you they're not hiring you because you're old, but they will not hire us when we're old. They want young, vibrant, young people in their business that will attract other young people. So one has to really think about retirement and plan for retirement. Talk about it with your families and your friends and other people, like-minded people. Read, do your research, come up with ideas. Maybe you could start a business now that will be able to provide for your needs when you get to retirement. And another thing is that it sucks to retire and not even be able to take a vacation because you're living off Social Security or maybe another little retirement check along with Social Security that is not even enough to pay a mortgage, rent, insurance, taxes for properties, and healthcare bills and food and utility bills. Okay, so just wanted to offer you a little tip. We must think about these things because if we live long enough, we will retire. We will retire whether we want to or not, because these companies don't really want older people to work for them. They can't tell you that because it's discrimination, but they're not hiring older people. And depending on where you are, there aren't enough jobs for old people and young people and middle and people in the middle anyway. All right, so do your due diligence and plan for retirement. And it's not enough just to put $100 or $1,000 away towards retirement. Because think about it, even if you have $1,000,000 in your retirement fund and you keep taking money out but nothing is going in, it's not going to last very long. All right? Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.